Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we have two Brute Wyverns going at it today. Duramboros versus Savage Deviljho, and we'll include their base forms as well of... You guys get it. So, with Savage Deviljhos, they are a mutation. Yeah, so these variants count as mutations by natural means, by the way. Savage Deviljhos are actually born or created when a Deviljho is actually starving, and they have no other choice but to cannibalize their own kind. You see, Deviljhos are from a much more ancient time period than what's pretty much considered now as modern day Monster Hunter. They had much bigger herbivores, much slower as well, to where they could actually run them down and eat them. So Deviljhos nowadays are actually starving and are much less likely to eat bigger meals. You might say, what about Gameth and Duramboros? We're going to get into those reasons in a little bit here. Deviljho possesses this dragon sac within its body, this dragon energy, right? Using this dragon energy, it can actually balloon up its muscle mass, actually revealing the scars from past battles as well. And these are battles with even elder dragons. Savage Deviljhos actually are always in this state here, and this actually makes them much more dangerous. This dragon energy can also be used to nullify the effects of elder dragon attacks, even bypassing the durability because it's a nullification. Savage Deviljhos have been known to actually be physical contenders with Elder Dragons regularly. For example, in the New World, or at least Monster Hunter World, as you guys should already know, right? Deviljhos have been able to slam Diabloses so hard that they're able to break their horns. This even includes Black Diabloses. However, we know that this is actually a game mechanic for at least Black Diablos, because Deviljhos do not test Black Diabloses at all. They're actually afraid of them. And the reason why is because their strength is just way beyond what a Deviljho can actually handle. However, Savage Deviljhos may actually take that risk because they're consistently in a constant state of hunger. This may even mean they may fight to the death with elder dragons because they're in this hyper starving state. This includes elder dragons such as Black Veil Valhazak, Nemiel, Velkana, Kushala, Teostra, and Lunastra, even Nergigante. They're willing to risk these confrontations even with other elder dragon level monsters that are more dangerous than it, like Gameth or, again, Duramboros. Alright, they're willing, Rajang and Espinas. They're willing to risk these confrontations all for the sake of eating a meal. And this makes them 10 times more dangerous, probably the most dangerous opponent any Elder Dragon has ever faced, because this is a fight to the finish. It's a fight to the death here. Now, there are some monsters that can put them down, such as, again, Nergigante, who is the apex predator, or at least the ultimate apex predator entirely. This even includes other monsters like Fierce Rajang. I would even say an enraged Espinas as well. And maybe some other wyverns as well. Maybe like Silver Rathalos as well. I would even count, Malzeno, Elder Dragons, and those who are apex Elder Dragons as well. Even Elder Dragon level monsters such as Eucanlos and a Cantor as well have been known to actually kill and even eat Deviljhos. So Deviljhos are not invincible, but they sure are very tough to beat here. Plus, accompanied with that dragon sack, its weight, its power, and its jaws. Believe it or not, this is a fun fact, Deviljhos cannot actually bite through bone. Yeah, so while their jaws are powerful enough to hold monsters in place, they're actually not able to bite through bone, which is actually kind of interesting in my opinion. So this means that when they eat something, they don't eat the bone. They actually eat the meat only. The meat, the muscle, the fibers in there. They're not able to literally, they may not be able to not only crush bone, but probably can't even process it as well. So this means that a plethora of monsters have a much stronger bite than Deviljho, like Tigerex and Odogorons actually have a much stronger and much more devastating bite than a Deviljho. However, Deviljho's jaws are still made to bleed their prey out. But that's going to just wrap up Deviljho here, so let's move on to Duramboros. One of, if not the top tier apex creature in the desert, Duramboroses are actually ridiculously scary. And these bulldozing wyverns already have a reputation. You see, their skin, their fur, doesn't get that coloration naturally. That's actually the blood of their enemies on them. Yeah, so yeah, a little fun fact. Yeah, that's blood. That's basically blood encoded into their fur. So yeah, these Duramboses are a ridiculously dangerous species here. And this is important because there's not many predators that can actually contest them in the desert. You see, predators in the desert consist of Sandbarioth, Tigerex, even Brute Tigerex, and the likes of Rathians and Seragios. Now, here's the fun thing. Here's the fun fact about it, right? They don't bother or are willing to try to even kill or even attack a Duramboros. Now, this even includes Brute Tigerex, which is absolutely ridiculous because Tigerexes will go after Gammoths, even fully grown ones, and risk that loss. Meaning that Tigerexes, despite the sheer fact that they know they're probably going to lose to a full-grown Gammoth, male or female, they'll see a Duramboros and they'll run the other way. This would include other predators. Even despite them having an aerial advantage, they're not going to risk that confrontation at all. This means that Duramboroses have such a they have such a kill streak. They have such a overwhelming amount of strength, durability, and power that monsters, even with advantages, don't mess with them. It's even stated that Deviljhos themselves would really have to think about risking that pretty much risking that kind of injury. So this means these things are also capable of killing a Deviljho. Now, Duramboroses, or at least Duramboroses in general, have these horns and these axe-like tails. Now, this is important here because they actually do need these. Yeah, they do need these for the desert because they have to still deal with other predators. This even would include Glavenus. It's very possible that these tails are a very good counter to even the heated blade of Glavenus, which are still known to cut through mountains with ease, like a hot knife through butter. And they're still able to counter them. And this is absolutely ridiculous because they're already above the regular species, which has been known to kill Lagiacris, Zinogres, Golbulls, and whatchamacallit, I'm trying to think, sorry. Zinogre, Lagiacris, Golbull, Nargacuja. Sorry, I almost forgot. Nargacuja and Plesios. So they're known to already kill those as well. Now, obviously, these would be fully grown bulls or cow Duramboroses. Not sure if cows really look different. I don't remember if the Monster Hunter guidebook really gave us that at all. But again, some of these monsters are Elder Dragon level, or at least are considered Elder Dragon contenders, or at least level contenders. We already know the infamous Zinogre get back. And yes, this is an Apex Zinogre, but again, we do have the sheer fact that Lagiacris themselves are considered, should be considered Elder Dragon levels because of their frequent interaction with deep sea Elder Dragons like Nakarkos and Cadeus. Alright? I think that should be considered regular things as well, and Namiel as well, now that it's been added to the new world. And I did say in my Namiel Ikaji video that Namiel may have interacted with the likes of Lagiacris because, again, they would have came from the ocean. So it's very possible, a 50% possibility they would have already interacted with them. Plus, we do know that Zinogre was giving Scorn Magnamala a good fight until it decided to use its full strength. Even with Zinogre contending against Lunagarin, which is an Elder Dragon level monster. So again, this comes right back to Duramboros, who's able to kill a Zinogre confidently. This would then translate to Duramboros, who is a stronger subspecies. Yeah, so yeah, these guys are incredibly just difficult to kill. And even if a Deviljho is trying to kill them, it doesn't really look like it goes in the favor of the Deviljho here. Not only do they have that club tail, they're actually able to swing it with so much momentum that they can flip. This big behind bull can do a flip. Like, what? I'm being dead serious right now. You could literally look it up. You could go to Google for it. Go to the Monster Hunter wiki if y'all want. These things can flip and spin in the air and even get airborne. I see why these guys don't have a lot of predators when they're fully grown. They're considered nearly unstoppable forces. And we're saying nearly because it may even take an elder dragon like Tartaronus to actually be able to take it down. It may just flat out take that. It may even still be a difficult fight altogether. Duramboroses in general are just one of the more dangerous, one of the top two dangerous herbivores in Monster Hunter. So without further ado, let's really begin. Who do I think wins this more often than not? So there is a couple ways of looking at this here. You can honestly see it as like a T-Rex versus Ankylosaurus standpoint, or we can really just see this as the monsters they fight. And they actually fight the same respective monsters, believe it or not. Deviljho is willing to go against Rathaloses, Legianas, and Zenogres, even the stronger versions of themselves like Azure Rathalos and Shrieking Legianas, even Pink Rathians. And even is willing to risk injury against Black Diabloses. However, this can actually play against it because they're not very successful still in even trying to get those kills. Yes, if they get to it, they'll be able to do it. Yeah, I agree. But these are still monsters that are capable of putting up relatively good fights against Deviljho, causing it more injury. And again, you have to look at this as these guys are animals, and that this is still a possibility that this may have even happened in the Monster Hunter world. You see, when it comes to doing ecology or these kind of like videos, you still have to base it in some sort of like theory. For example, T-Rex versus Alamosaurus. We know T-Rex and Alamosaurus existed in the same era at the same time on the same continent as each other. However, do you think T-Rex really risked its life to go against Alamosaurus? You could probably say yes, and you could probably say no, or you could probably say it was under a certain condition. These are the same type of rules that we also have to live by when it comes to these kind of monsters. However, we have a bit more information on them and a bit more information about their interactions and what could have happened. So basically, by the information I'm given, I would actually lean towards Duramboros. It has a much more solid both attack and defensive measures. Oh, but legendary, what if it grabs it by the horns? I don't think Deviljho's mouth could wrap around and do the same thing it did to Diablo's. You see, Diablo's horns are a bit more slender and a lot more, I guess you could say, curved in on top of its head, or at least around the frill area, than Duramboros is, who has them actually around its head. Meaning that Deviljho wouldn't be able to get a solid bite on, and even if it probably could, it's not going to do much damage as pretty much the source says. A bite from a Deviljho doesn't do too much good, and it will have to go into a bludgeon contest. And judging by that tail, that is not going to look good here. So obviously, I would have to give it to Duramboros more often than not. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share to friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.